Hi, this is Suzanne Seeley with Suzanne Style Snips. Tonight I'm going to be talking with Glen, and I really am eager to find out about him because I think he's got so much swag and so much style. So, you know, I guess fashion has existed ever since Fred Flintstone was out chasing the wildebeest and the zebras and the tigers and bringing home draperies for himself and for Wilma. And it's definitely an art form. So you definitely seem to know your style. You seem to have a good hold on it and are consistent with it. Can you tell me where your style comes from? Were you born with it, or do you have an inspiration that you have modeled yourself after? Because I kind of see you more as not so very American, but more European pedigree than American.
Well, after college, I moved to Miami for a year, and I actually dated a girl from Sri Lanka, and she was always very stylish,
Yes.
very trendy, and naturally, when birthdays and Christmases would come along, she would get me nice clothes, which I tended to like. So I guess I could go back to about 20 or so years ago when I was dating a girl named Rahana. So I always liked to be professional, never in an ostentatious way, too much flair, but there's something that when you see an individual who dresses appropriately, it can be disarming to the other individual, depending on the situation that you're in, perhaps. Also, it's, for me, part of a uniform. So when I was an orthopedic sales rep in Florida, I never wanted to be the guy that would try and do the sales pitch in scrubs because they just came out of a surgery. I would always take the time to dress back into the suit instead of just running around in scrubs all day. In between those two time frames, I should also say I lived in Vienna for 6 months. And right place, right time. The dollar was very strong and the euro was very weak, so I could shop at some really nice Italian places for pennies to the dollar.
I was going to ask you, do you have any ideas on how a man can build his wardrobe without breaking the bank?
I do. I'm sure you've heard of Zegna. It's kind of one of the more higher echelon companies that's still family owned, I believe. Their suits are fantastic, fit me well. They tend to be more slender as they kind of have that European cut to them. I would recommend going to a Zegna outlet.
Okay, and you mentioned fit.
Yes, fit. Make sure, you know, you can buy a nice jacket off the rack, but having it fitted makes it all that much better because you don't want to have that disheveled look. Just because you spend a ton of money on a nice camel hair jacket and you don't get it fitted, it just doesn't work.
So I think that there are a lot of American men who they would like to be stylish, they would like to look good, and they try very hard to buy expensive suits, but there seems to be some cloning going on. And that I think what they're missing probably is the fit. Yeah, and one thing I noticed when I was in Europe recently is there's a trend towards a brighter blue in the suits. It's really quite beautiful, and in the slacks and in the sweaters. How do you feel about color in a man's wardrobe?
Well, yeah, color's obviously a big deal, and it goes, I would say, along with whether it's you remember the double-breasted was big back, you know, I would say maybe the 80s, and obviously it went to the 3-button with the 4 buttons on the side, which I'm still a big fan of. So I would say following the trends is a good thing to a certain extent. But to go back to something I said earlier, when it has too much flair, you don't want to have an ostentatious look about you, you know, but something that is classic look, which is what I always strive to go for. So when it comes to the colors, yes, I definitely see what's out there. I definitely look at the magazines, and I even have an app that tells me I think it's called Touch of Modern is this app that I have.
Oh.
So I get these push notifications when it's like, oh, I can buy a Brioni shirt for $100 instead of $400. So it's really great to have something like that at your fingertips, which certainly wasn't available not too long ago.
That's right. Technology is wonderful. Everybody's shopping online, and I'm always surprised when men shop online. Let me ask you, do you enjoy shopping?
I do. I mean, yeah, like...
Is it fun?
It's fun. What do they call it? Retail therapy. If you have a
Yeah.
bad day, you could always go buy something nice that makes you feel better. So I would definitely say yes.
What is your favorite thing to shop for?
Oh, well, I mean, outside of fashion, boats. I do love boat shows. Outside of that, do love good. My parents I don't mean to segue too much, but they went to the Fort Lauderdale boat show, so I got a lot of beautiful pictures there.
Yeah.
Besides that, certainly clothes.
Yeah. What about shoes? Accessories.
Shoes, accessories are great. That's another, I want to say maybe more economical way where you can have that little designer flair without breaking the bank. To go buy Hugo Boss suit could easily cost you $1,500, but to get a nice belt that flips, that's brown and black. Again, it's versatile. So yeah, you're spending a few extra bucks, but it certainly is a more economic way to go. When you have a brown suit, black suit, you don't have to buy two belts.
What about shirts?
Shirts,
In the fitting on shirts.
absolutely fitted. I'm a 15 and a half, 35. I can right off the bat tell you that on my neck size, which is great because my birthday's coming up and my mom just called me and she wanted to know, are you still a 15 and a half, 35? And yes, I am. So slender fit, I always ask for that.
So, how important are accessories for a man? So cufflinks and the belt and the shoes. Because a man, I think, has more limited selections in clothing, what would be the most important accessories to wear?
Accessories to wear, I would definitely have to go with what you brought up, the cufflinks. Big fan of those. Can I include ties in that?
Absolutely. Sure,
I'm a big bow tie person too.
I saw your butterflies.
Yeah.
I love them. They're beautiful.
But when I say bow tie, there's something just classy about having to tie your own bow tie. And if it struggles, you take it 3 times to get it right in the morning. It's all worth it.
It's definitely worth it. I think they're beautiful as well. So, what are your basic essentials that you would recommend to a man building his wardrobe? Basics.
Basics, dark suit. Definitely need the dark suit. Couple of good, I would say like a pinpoint, shirts. I'm not a big fan of the pocket, I think it's more, I like that kind of clean look, the clean. So, yeah, definitely having that dark suit, nice white shirts would be some basic things, because you can also accessorize very easily with the ties, with the shoes. Also, like dark shoes will go a long way. Black shoes you can wear with a lot of different attires. Black pants. I definitely recommend make sure it's 100% wool and it's lined on the inside, because it'll last longer, it's more comfortable, it'll fit your body better. Those are all important things that people don't think about. Oh, it's nice, it's wool, it's on sale, and it's name brand. Yeah, but what's on the inside, the pockets, wear it, try it on, and see how the accoutrements of the suit itself are. So those are other little things that I always check for when I'm looking at some of the basics that you get a little bit more mileage out of when you're purchasing your first items.
Speaking of the basics, let's talk about grooming just a little bit.
Grooming.
Because I'm always hounding on grooming for men.
Okay.
So I think it's critically important, and I think it is something that most men don't attend to enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out there and say, guys, look, make sure you get your regular haircuts, shave. Obviously, beards are in now. I unfortunately cannot grow a beard. I tried, and I just look like a homeless man. But making sure you take care of yourself. Again, it all goes back to being presentable to your audience, who may be anybody out there.
That gives you a lot of panache. So you've got yourself all put together.
Right.
Have you ever had any envy? You said it intimidates people sometimes. Would that be men as well? Have you had envy from men?
I did have. I wouldn't say envy. I would just say someone, had said, why do you wear a suit? And for me, it was just a uniform. And once they figured out, like, okay, this is what you wear every day. This is what I wear every day. You may be in a different profession that doesn't require it, or even if it doesn't require it, there isn't a push to do it. So I wouldn't say envy, but it was once that individual understood who I was and kind of like, oh, I get it. This is Glen's thing. He just likes to dress that way, and this is part of what he does for a living. Then it was cool.
So that makes me wonder, do you ever get tired of dressing, Glen?
Negative.
Isn't that cool? I'm loving this interview. I love that. So every day it's a new challenge.
Yeah, every day it's a new challenge, yeah.
You put something else on. Well, I really thank you so much for your time. I honestly do. This has been an interesting interview for me. I think I found the right man for it, don't you guys? Anyway, thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, and share my blog.
Thank you.